Hello, everybody. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to sort out what do you call it? Instagram. Says I'm connected, but it is also not giving me the opportunity to go live. Oh, no, it is. Yay. Right. Back to that one. It's taken me a bit to get used to all this stuff. So, good morning or good evening or good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the Sky Spirit channel. How are you doing this morning? Are you feeling good, or are the world's problems getting you down? I think I'm swinging between two extremes, between being optimistic and terribly pessimistic about the state of the world. Let me just put this chat on. Again, if we get any lag going on here, if the stream is too dodgy, then just let me know and I'll pull the stream on either Instagram or Facebook, because nobody watches on there anyway, a couple of people. So I can do that. We'll see how we get on. Excuse me. Lorraine, no, this isn't your private reading, sweetheart. That's at 2 o'clock this afternoon, BST UK time. I'm not sure where you are, but it's 10:33 here at the moment. So yours is this afternoon if you want to come along. Good morning, everybody. There's loads of you in the chat already. Hurrah. Right. I'm just looking at the question, Kerry Ann, that you've sent, and I'll come to that at the end. Right, so astrology wise, so stick with me for the next 40 minutes or so. I can go on to up to an hour and a half now, can't I? Because I do tend to waffle. But we should be about 45 minutes to an hour looking at a little bit of astrology, collective reading, bigger reading, and then some time for some questions at the end and an oracle card. So astrology wise, okay, so we've got a tale of two halves going on today and tomorrow. Today we've got a negative aspect, which is the sun in Cancer, which is squaring to Neptune in Aries. So these are two we think Aries, fire, Cancer, water, square between them is quite confrontational. So today is like, you could feel like you're overreacting, or you could feel like you're not quite sure how you should react. It's like, you might feel, thank you, Gavin, for that. You might feel that you're being gaslit by somebody, but you're not quite sure. You're not quite sure whether they're gaslighting you or not. You know, it's quite confusing. You're not quite sure how to take things. So that's what's going to happen today, from the skies. So it's that's what we can expect today. So a little bit of misunderstanding. Yes, Lorraine, it's two o'clock my time on the booking, so you'll have to check what that is on Eastern time, because I don't know. Right, so yeah, misunderstandings and confusion today, so we've got one there already. But leading tomorrow, okay, tomorrow is like a once in a few year opportunity for you to really excel and to feel awesome, because we've got a cazimi going on in the sky. And what this is the sun is conjoining Jupiter in Cancer. It's called a cazimi. It's a rare event and it's really auspicious, which means that if you've got something where you need a little bit of luck, tomorrow is going to be it. It's about things happening which are lucky. You should feel confident. You should feel like everything's going your way. Now, world events wise, I was thinking, you know, a cazimi, when we're in this current climate, at the moment where there's all this stuff going on, isn't it, with Iran and all sorts of things, I thought, do you know what, a cazimi tomorrow just might be a breakthrough. And there's me being optimistic about the whole thing there, but thinking, okay, if we are about to have something I know I'm lagging because I can see myself on the screen. My mouth is moving at a different rate to the words that are coming out of it. That's so confusing. We'll just let that slide for a little while and see if it writes itself. So tomorrow could be a breakthrough. And if it's not on that world level, maybe it's on a more personal level for you. Good evening, Aussie Mel. How are you doing down under? Hope you're okay. So tomorrow's looking good. Today, not so much. And that's from an astrology point of view. There's somebody knocking on my door, but they're just going to have to knock. Okay, right. So that's our little bit of astrology. Let us move on to a 3-card reading. Let me just see what's going on that screen. It looks a bit strange. No, it's not. It's okay. Right, so we're going to put 3 cards down. This is a collective reading, which means that it might apply to you, or it might be on a more broad level. So it's a great way for you to receive a message, a specific message. I hope you can hear my dogs barking like the hounds of hell because somebody's knocked on the door. I think it's a delivery, but they can just leave it behind my bins. Security conscious there. Thank you, Aussie Mel. So I'm not lagging in Australia, but I'm lagging on my own laptop in front of my face. So the wonders of modern technology. So let's get these 3 cards down. So this is our collective reading today. We have got 1, 2, 3. Sort of interesting cards. 5 of Cups reversed talks about a loss that's being returned to you. It's cups, so it's likely emotional. It's like you feel like you lost something or you lost your way a little bit. But when it's spun on its head there, it's basically the same. It's like, okay, well, this is something that's coming back to you now. And that also tying it in with the 6 of Pentacles there. The 6 of Pentacles is the giving and receiving card. So it feels like it's both. It could be something that was due to you should return, something that you feel should have been yours all along. We've got emotion here, but we've also got practical things, money, security. So it feels like something could be coming back to you on a practical level, perhaps monetary wise, or something to do with finances or security, something like that. And it puts you in a better place emotionally, so you start to feel like you're getting back some of your old joie de vivre, because this is sort of coming back to you. But this sun reversed on the end isn't necessarily a negative card. This is positive, nah, not so much. And I think what we're seeing here is like it's sort of a little tap on the shoulder to say, okay, that might have dented your confidence. Whatever you lost in the past, it feels like it took the sun from you. It took the sunshine out of your life. It removed that inner brimming confidence, that sort of, the sun speaks about confidence and success and travel and, you know, just being that adventurer. When it's turned upside down, it's like, and teamed with these cards to put it in context, it's like, okay, you lost, it's being returned to you. What is due to you is coming back now, all right? But it feels like your confidence is knocked, and you're being encouraged here to say that, sorry, I'm reading the chat and speaking at the same time again. I start to read the chat out because I can't multitask on a mental level. So it's like it's saying that you need to get yourself back out there, if you see what I mean. It's like, don't let this loss that occurred, it's going to be repaid to you, whether that's emotional, financial. It feels like a little bit of both. Don't let it ruin the future for you. Okay, we need you back in this position. We need the sun to shine again on you. So it's like, put this down to experience. Yeah, start again, be the sun. So that's a 3 card. It's a bit of a strange one this morning, isn't it? A bit vague, I think. I like it when the cards come out and they're like super direct and super obvious, you know, but that's not always the case, and I'm always going to tell you it like it is. And a little waffle digression here. Yesterday I put on YouTube and I just like happened to see this thumbnail, and I think it said Hollywood medium debunked or something, so I just put this on, just clicked on it. And it was this woman, I swear, she must have been less than 25. So she was young. And her opener was literally, There are no true psychics. There are only those that are deluded and think they're psychic, and those that are fraudulent and fakes. I was like, wow, that is a sweeping statement for a young girl to make. Like, how do you know that? And like, the way that I look at it, right, is that there are things that aren't explained. If we all decided that everything is either true or not true today, and like everything that could be discovered has been discovered, there'd be no progress. Imagine like hundreds of years ago, this is electricity. No, it's not. It's witchcraft. It doesn't exist. We wouldn't have electricity now. And like, I look on things like a lot of things of a spiritual basis, including tarot, as something that just isn't explained yet by science, and I believe in the future it will be. And if you look at, I do harp on about this quite often, but if you look at like quantum theory, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, that's starting now to prove theories that spiritualism, no, because that's a religion, that spiritual people have been talking about for probably thousands of years. You know, theory of connectivity and how everything is connected in a what is it, the field of unification or something like that is called. And there's like, you know, how things on an atomic level can be in more than one place, and how things can communicate when there's no physical junction between them. So that really put my back up, and it also made me think, okay, like I read tarot, this is where I'm coming back round in a circle here. When I read the cards, even if they're vague like that, I'm going to tell you what they are, right? Because otherwise I would be a fraud if I was just making it up as I went along, hoping to give everybody like an exciting or good bit of news or whatever, or what they wanted to hear. Then what would be the point? I might as well not bother. I just wouldn't waste my time, because I'm on a mission here. As much as to do this, I'm improving my skills, and I am doing this, you know, 3 times a week or what have you. It's like, it's really honing my skills. And if I was just going to start making things up or just reading things that weren't there, then why would I bother? I believe it works, and I believe in the future at some point we'll be told how it works. So anyway, there's my little rant over. But you know, it just annoys me when people are so narrow-minded, because if everybody was that narrow-minded, then we just wouldn't get anywhere, would we? So not having it. I should have put a comment on a video, but in fact, no, I did. I'm saying that I did put a comment on, but then I thought, oh, it's going to say like Sky Spirit, and everybody's going to go like, oh, well, you would say that because you're obviously like one of those woo-woo people. But I did put a comment on, but I should have ranted more. I should have ranted. Right. Yes, Aussie Mel, she is still growing in the frontal lobe, and you just think, you know, the confidence of youth, isn't it? Being so sure about whether something exists or whether it doesn't. You know, it's like, how do you know? You haven't even lived. You're hardly like off the teat. Like, how do you know that? Anyway, right, let's move on. That being said, let us go to the 12 numbers. 12, I still struggle to come up with a name for this. It's a 12 number tarot spread. Okay, but we have 2 cards in each position, so it's actually 24 cards. It's not a 12 card choose a card. So, but it works on the same principles. So I'm going to lay down 24 cards, and they'll be numbered 1 to 12. So if you've got a question, think of a number between 1 and 12. If you haven't, just be open to receive a message and perhaps choose a number, or listen to the whole reading, take what resonates with you, because every single card has a message, and a worthwhile message for you, whether it's a good card or a bad card. And in actual fact, really are the good cards and bad cards, because like everything in life, there's 2 sides to it, isn't there? And like everything in life, we have to unify the 2 halves of ourselves, like our shadow selves. We have to integrate that with our light side and our love and light side, because that is part of us, and to deny it is to deny part of ourselves, really. So good morning, Zoo. I'm just going to say Zoo because I can't pronounce what that says. Good morning, Zoo. I don't think I've seen you here before. Nice of you to call in. Please come back again and stick around today. Right. Waffle must stop. Right. So it's a number between 1 and 12. Think of your question or just accept some guidance. And here we go. Just going to cut the deck just because I feel like doing that. Oh, change the camera angle. Yay. Look, I've even straightened up my camera this morning, so when I'm putting these cards down, they're straight for me and they're straight for you. Because I think last Friday, like my camera was that wonky that when I was putting the cards down to get them relatively straight on the screen, they were like, they were probably skewed on this end. Right, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm quite excited for this Kazemi tomorrow, you know, because it should bring, you know, like that shot out of the blue experience, that sort of, oh, I wasn't expecting that, how wonderful. I've had it in my diary for ages to put the lottery on tomorrow and today, in fact, because I think, call me optimistic, but I think I can feel the effects of the Kazemi coming already. And I know that we're looking at a confusing time astrologically today. Maybe I'm just confused and I can't feel it, but I feel a well of excitement building up, shall we say. So I shall channel my excitement over into these cards, and we're going to start with number 11 today, just because it feels good. Right. Ooh. Right, interesting cards. We've got the Chariot upright and we've got the Hermit reversed. So what do these cards mean? Let us have a look. Okay, now this is this is like, you know, I was saying I like direct cards. These are direct cards. This is forward, motion, moving quickly, determined to reach goals. And it's like, I always see a horse and carriage. I know this isn't a horse and carriage. It's a man in a chariot with sphinxes sphinxes is pulling it, okay? But it's like, to me, it's a horse and carriage, and it's like running out of control, and it's going so fast. The problem with the chariot is sometimes that you go too fast, okay? But in this case, with it teaming with this Hermit reversed, it feels like we've got forward motion and you're being encouraged to move, because the Hermit, when he's up this way, it's encouraging you towards isolation and introspection and finding the path ahead. That's why he carries a lamp, because he's lighting the path forward by going introspective and studying himself. It's like deep learning type of thing. When he's upside down, it's like you're being told to get out more, basically. You're being told not to be so introspective, not to look within, okay? It's like, and this teaming with this, it's like, this is a kick in the butt duo. This is like, come on, we've spent too long procrastinating. You've spent too long thinking about something. You've spent too long not doing and worrying, thinking, looking for the way forward, not knowing what way to go, struggling to find it. But now the Chariot energy comes in, and it's like, let's go. Hold on to your horses and give them a little tap on the sides, and let's gallop. So what you've also got as well is black and white Sphinx, and that indicates that it's sort of, you're galloping through different opinions and things like that. So another message from these cards would be, do not worry about people's different opinions of you, or don't worry about criticism, or don't worry about people telling you can't do that, or you need to be more like the Hermit, you shouldn't be doing that, or blah 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 blah. Like, just gallop over them, okay? Drive your chariot over these naysayers, because it really is time for you to make movement, and sort of, you know, challenge your natural, or the instinct that's making you be so inward. Challenge it, and sort of put yourself out there a little bit more. And then this, basically, it's a really auspicious card. I've used that word twice now. I don't think I could spell it though. So it's like, trust that this forward motion is going to take you to a better place. It's going to take you away from being so isolated in yourself and to a far better place. But you need to grab onto the horses, okay? You need to get on the chariot in order for it to move. Yeah, it's pointless just looking at it and going, oh, I wish I was on that chariot, I wish I was moving forward. It's like, you need to make a conscious decision to actually to do it, okay? I hope that resonates with you. Number 12. Let's have a look. What do we have? Wonderful cards. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful cards. I like these. We've got the 9 of Cups, which is your wish card. we've got the Six of Swords reversed, which is about leaving. So what do these cards mean? Basically, this is a great card. I love this card. It's a really, really simple card taken by itself. Because when it's up that way, it's like your wish isn't granted. When it's up this way, it's your wish is granted. It's a little bit more complex than that, but that's a very sort of simple one card reading of that. It's like a yes or a no, okay? So this is basically, theme of this card, this Six of Swords, okay, is about leaving. It's great when it's up this way. Look, you've got a man on a boat and he's rowing away from troubled waters and he takes his passenger to smoother times, okay? So it's about moving away from trouble. When you see it up this way, it's like you're leaving something. When it's up this way, it's like you have stayed somewhere too long, okay? And you need to move on from something. And when you do that, it's like you're heading for your wish to be granted. So let's say this guy, when he turns back, because it's like this card is like telling you it needs to be this way. You need to move on from something. You need to leave something. You need to walk away from something, whether that's a person, a mental state, another, a situation, a way of thinking. You need to be this in order to achieve this. But at the moment, you're this. So you're stuck at the moment. You feel like you're stuck in a rut. You feel like you're going round and round. You're like, imagine if you're on that boat, but you're in a bit of a like little whirlpool eddy thing, and the boat's just going round and round and round in this little whirlpool, and you're not actually getting anywhere, okay? So what we need to do is we need to row faster, okay? We need to get that. He's actually got a stick, hasn't he? He's actually pushing the boat along. I can't remember what those sticks are called that you push boats along with, but we need a bigger stick, yeah? You need to make a concerted effort to leave something behind, or draw the line between now and the past, or just let something go. Sometimes I think as human beings, we have this innate drive to sort things out and to achieve closure before we leave something behind. It's like when you drop everything on the floor, you stop, you pick it up. But sometimes you have to chuck it in the effort bucket, yeah, and just walk past and keep going. Walk through the debris, kick it out the way, okay? Kick it into the river and just walk through it and then leave. Leave it behind, leave the situation, because that way lies your true destiny and your wish come true. So, when I think a lot of us on a vague level, it's happiness, isn't it? It's contentment that we all seek. What is it that's holding you back from contentment? And the thing is, it could be oars, KLG, it could be a paddle. I'm not sure, they use them in Venice, don't they? I'll have to look. It's like a boating pole thing. What was I saying? No, can't remember. I think a lot of times tarot are to do with our inner selves. So this almost says, like it's perhaps something inner that you need to leave behind. I mean, it could be quite literal and you need to leave your husband or wife or whatever because it's a negative relationship, toxic, but it's very often with tarot, it's more about changing your mindset than it is about the physical world. It can be about the physical world often. Punt. Mr. Steve, is that it? I thought a punt was a boat. Maybe there's a punting stick. So decide what it is that you need to leave behind. Leave and just paddle off into your wish fulfilled. We like those cards. They're very different cards so far. Some mornings they're all the same, aren't they? We'll go for number 10. Okay. Now these are sort of almost-ish similar cards. Right, we've got the Nine of Wands reversed and we've got the Page of Wands. So we've got 2 wands for a start. So this is about energy, inspiration, creativity and drive. It can also be about how you put yourself forward and how you see yourself and how you react with other people as well. Now, the Nine of Wands is the Wounded Soldier card. If you have a good look at him, right, he's like standing in front of all his wands and he's like, you're not getting past me. I'm keeping all these wands to myself. It's because, right, he's sticking up for himself. He's resilient, he's determined, and he will fight you if you try to combat him, if you try and nick his wands, if you challenge him, he will fight you and he will win because he's been through it all before. He's a nine of wands, so he's almost at the completion of a cycle. So he's like been through it. He's fallen down every hole in the road. He knows his crap, yeah? He knows what he is, he knows what to do, and he knows what he's good at, and he's good at sticking up for himself. When this is reversed, my interpretation of this card has always been, okay, you've been resilient, you've put these barriers up, okay, but it's time to let them down a little bit, because teamed with this card, wish my dogs had stopped barking. There's people digging the road up outside. It's like the waterboard. They started at one end of my little street, and it's somebody said they're looking for a leak and they can't find it, so they're just digging up all over the place, and the whole road is closed, and now there's a thing outside going beep, 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 and the dogs are going crazy. I digress. So, teamed with this card, I was just making sure that it was the right card I had in my hand. We have got the page. I thought for a second he was an ace. But basically a page is a new beginning, a bit like an ace, but a page is more like, okay, it's more of a state of mind. A page is a teenager. He's that person, or she is that person who feels like they're at the beginning of a great adventure, okay? So this card is like, okay, you're at the beginning, or the possibility. That is a beautiful word, isn't it, for us as human beings? Possibility. It's like the pregnancy of ideas and spawning new things, whether that's a new way of living or an actual child, or, you know, it's something new, something that we create. The page is creative. He's at the beginning of an adventure. So this is you. However, you're going to have to let down some of these barriers and learned behaviors, and they're self-protective because it's about stopping yourself from falling down the hole of disaster, yeah? Being resilient, and resilience is a fantastic trait to have. And it stops you from ending up at the bottom of a hole, doesn't it? However, there's something new being offered to you, or there's the potential, the possibility of a new direction, which is going to be inspirational, which is going to relight your fire. I would sing that, but I won't actually horrify you. But wands are fire, okay? Wands are energy. Pages are new things. So it's something, the possibility of something that's going to inspire you. Might be a new relationship, might be a new job, might be just something that changes you, something that moves you forward. But you're not going to get it if you, oh, I'm not going to do that because this, that, and the other might happen. Oh, no, because I can't do that, or I can't reach out to that person because I'm afraid of being hurt, okay? That's your Nine of Wands talking. And it's time we just drop that and embrace that, okay? Because we need to move forward now. It's time to make yourself just a little bit vulnerable, okay? Vulnerability can be difficult to deal with, but without making ourselves vulnerable, we're not able to move forward and try new things, are we? Because we're stuck doing the same things in the same way with the same people. And when we do the same things, we get the same outcome. And their outcome wasn't that particularly good, because otherwise we wouldn't be the Nine of Wands in the first place. You'd never have had to be resilient if everything had gone your way. So it's a learned behaviour, but we need to put it down, and we need to embrace change, and we need to embrace a new direction. I like those cards, I do. I hope if you chose that you've got a story for me about how that resonates with you, because it's a really good duo of cards. Right, okay, we were going to go straight down the line today. We're going for number 9. Let's see if anybody's chose 9. Oh, Linda, you've got a 9 here. Let's have a look. Oh, goodness me. Okay, we have the King of Cups reversed, and we have the Devil. Okay, what do these cards mean? Right, now you'll see me change the cards over like this because I'm like mirrored on this screen. Like I know which one has come out first, if that makes sense. So these are quite tricky cards, I'll be honest with you. The King of Cups reversed can be a masculine energy, or an event that feels like, I was thinking this morning, you know, about court cards and how they can be you, they can be another person, they can be a situation, and it can make things really vague. But I thought, you know what about If you think of it as situations, what about, now this is a bit random, like in the French language, in the Spanish language, things are either masculine or feminine, aren't they? The noun, is it noun? I think that's the word. It's either masculine or feminine, so it's le or la or whatever. And so that would be like, you could read that into, okay, what would a male masculine situation be? Would it be something like, I mean, I would associate a male situation with something like, my head's gone blank there. Something like something work orientated, something practical, something like that takes that logical side. And I'm not saying that men are logical and women are emotional. That's not the case. But the masculine side of us all is the more logical side, I believe, and the female side, the feminine side, is more intuitive, is more emotional. And I think that when we say masculine, feminine in tarot, we're not talking male, female, because we've all got masculine and feminine within us. For example, my astrology, my birth chart, I've got 7 masculine aspects, and I think there's not very many feminine ones, which makes me like more masculine minded, if you see what I mean. So anyway, I digress again. So our King of Cups reversed, it's a masculine energy, and it could be a human being or it could be a situation. But with it teaming with the devil here, I'm going to say that this is a person, more than likely. Not absolutely, definitely, but more than likely. And the King of Cups reverse can be emotionally distant. He can actually be violent, either physically or verbally. It's somebody who doesn't express their emotions, somebody who is emotionally unavailable, somebody who isn't available to you on an emotional level, somebody who's quite cruel emotionally, somebody who uses their emotions to manipulate, somebody who isn't particularly honest with you. Okay, so teaming this with the devil is about oppression and being tied to something and being addicted to it. So these cards would, for example, a literal example here would be like if you felt tied to a previous partner who had not particularly treated you well, and it was a very toxic relationship, but it was holding you back now. The devil card shows the 2 lovers. Which one is, that's a female and that's a male, just to put it very traditionally, but they're chained to the devil. Okay, so it's like they're chained to something that's holding them back. They're chained to a behavior that's holding them back. Teaming that with our King of Cups reversed, that way, the literal explanation of these cards could be that you're chained to, metaphorically chained to, somebody from the past that didn't treat you very well. But the good news from the devil card is that the 2 people here are chained really loosely, and that's to symbolize that it's really you've made a rod for your own back. It's like a thing. My head goes blank in the mornings. It's a thing that you've created for yourself. You've tied yourself to this person, potentially situation, more likely person, and it's time to cut those chains. Okay, because they're a very, very negative influence. The devil can be, it's not actually the devil, it's like, but if you think about things the devil can apply to would be toxic relationships, would be toxic mindsets. It's also a thing about addiction, can be about like a really, the other way that you could interpret this, who got this card, is like it can be a really sexually charged energy that keeps you going back for more, but it's like a relationship purely based on the physical, where somebody could be quite manipulative. They'd be like, oh, come over, at like 2 in the morning, why don't you come over and see me? And like you think, oh, brilliant, they really like me. You go over, it's a booty call, isn't it? So it's that's, I know that's very literal and it's probably not the case, but that's another literal example about how these cards can work together. It's being chained to something that's emotionally not good for you. Okay, so your message today from the devil and me is that you need to cut the chains with whatever it is, this person that's holding you back, in order to move forward. If that resonated with you, I hope that you are able to cut these chains because they're holding you back. Yeah, going back to the past, or going back to this person, or your ideal of them, or just constantly thinking. It's like it's holding you back. You're chained to it. Now something Aussie Mel's just typed in there is like, it's just reminded me as well of a, I hate it when I do this, but I can't help it. As I said to you earlier, I'm going to tell you what the cards are rather than just like pretend that I know this and that's all they are. Um, what this could also apply to, another situation, you could be trained, like the devil's about addiction as well. Good morning, Helena. How are you doing? The devil's about addiction as well. And the king of cups, if he's not a person, he, she, not a person, could be about you being emotionally thwarted by an addiction. So that could play out as well, but it's a sort of more vague thing, isn't it? And you'd need to have more context in order to nail that down. So I'd need to be doing a full spread. But it's interesting. I'd like to hear, if you have these cards, how that resonates with you. If you don't want to type it in the chat, then you could email me, naomi@skyspirit.co.uk. And while I'm doing that sort of thing, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I always forget to say this, then please do, because it helps me a lot. Yeah, that's basically it. Right, moving on. We're going to go in straight lines today, just because I feel like it. Right. Okay, interesting cards, interesting cards. I've been doing a lot of work on the Hanged Man recently, because I'm always working to improve my knowledge and sort of find new, because honestly, each card of the tarot has such a history and so many meanings and so many connotations. And not only that, you also, as a reader, you build up your own relationship with the cards. So for example, the Seven of Pentacles for me will always now be Casabear's man weighing on his cabbages card, and that's stuck in my head, but I know what it means to me now. And I've also sort of programmed the deck, I like to say, right, well, when that one comes out, it means we're going to have a great day. So it's like you build up your own relationship and your own meanings. In fact, do you know, like, if you'd never ever read a tarot book and you just bought yourself a deck of cards and just like gave them all your own meanings, or just looked at the pictures and then used your imagination is your creativity, is your intuition, to like work out what the meanings are and put your own meanings on them, it would work. Yeah, it would work. It's you that are listening that are the magic, and it's me that is reading the cards that is the magic. Yeah, the cards themselves are just pieces of paper, pieces of card. So I digress again. But anyway, yeah, I've been doing a lot of work on the Hanged Man. And we've got the Hanged Man, we've got the Knight of Wands. Right, okay, what do these cards mean? Right, basically, when I've got the Hanged Man up like this, it's basically a little bit of deception, dishonesty, a little bit of, this card says to me, traitor. Yeah, this can be traitor. And the reason why that is associated with this card is like, I forget where it was now, is that they used to hang traitors upside down like that. Yeah, so this card was associated, in fact, in the Marseille deck, which I've also got, which is one of those decks that only has pips for the numbered cards. So like 3 of Pentacles will just be 3 pentacles on it rather than a picture. So I don't use it very often because it's not very imaginative and it's harder to read, to be honest. But in that deck, because this is Major Arcana, so it's a picture even in that deck, it's called the Traitor. All right, so associating that with our Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands can be a bit of a playboy, and the Hanged Man reverse can be a little bit of a, hang on a minute, you need to open your eyes, stop hanging around and waiting for something to happen. And we're looking at the Knight of Wands here, and we're saying, okay, something's not right with this guy. All right, it's like guy, I say guy, you know, it can be girl or guy. Yeah, girl or boy, man or woman. It's like something's not right with them. It needs your attention. You need to stop sort of hanging around and waiting for things to happen, and you need to look at this more closely, because there's this feeling of deception when we're up like this. There's this feeling of being traitorous, being deceived, and it feels like somebody could be a bit of a player. Somebody could be leading you a merry dance, or just not being entirely honest with you. And it could well be because they're like the Knight of Wands, they're happy, carefree, they just want to live their life and just do what they want to do. They haven't got much emotional maturity. How did that happen? Maturity. They haven't got much emotional maturity. A knight is like, the page would be like a teenager. The knight would be like the 25-year-old woman who I saw yesterday telling everybody that there was no such thing as psychics. You know, it's like that. You haven't got a clue, mate. You know, it's still that you're very young. You don't have the life experience. So our Knight of Wands is so fiery. Wands of fire. He sort of gallops around, like getting himself into all sorts of mischief and getting up to all sorts of things and just sort of, yay, let's gallop to the next event. So these two cards together are saying, this person, you need to pull them up, all right? You need to stop hanging around and pull them up, because I feel like there is some kind of deception going on with them. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that you're romantically involved with, although it could be. Knights are very often like, you know, the knight in shining armor. And of course, when you fall in love, you feel like that knight sort of energy, don't you? You feel like new, refreshed, invigorated, youthful. um, so it could be a romantic thing, but it could be, ones are very often to do with work as well, because they're to do with your creative force and your energy. So it could be something to do with a situation at work that needs reined in, okay? It needs addressing. And our Hanged Man reversed, as well as being a little bit of deception, a bit of a traitor, is also like it's cutting you down off that, right? Look at that. Imagine if somebody came along with scissors and then chopped scissors or shears and chopped the ropes and dropped the hangman on his head, right? He needs to drop down off his tree, stop hanging around and sort this situation out, all right? That's the symbology. That's what these cards mean. Symbology, symbolism. That's the symbolism behind these cards. Hurrah. Okay, let us go to number 7. Right, these are interesting cards indeed. We have the 9 of Swords, which is about stress and anxiety. And then we have got the Emperor, okay, which is a really good card. So these cards, they're a little bit ambiguous, these ones. It looks to me like you've got number 7. It's like there's a situation that's given you a great amount of anxiety and stress, okay? It's like it's kept you awake at night. It's like you've been dithering. You didn't know which way to go. It's like your hands feel tied. You don't know what to do. It's like repeating patterns. It's like you can't do right for doing wrong. It's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, yeah? It's that sort of energy. It's also bad dreams, restlessness, nightmares, not feeling quite right in your own skin, feeling like there's something coming. You know this, oh, sorry, KLG, I've just seen that this is yours. Are you referring to number 7? I think you are. It's like this feeling of, oh, there's something coming. I don't know what it is. I think it's anxiety, isn't it? When you get that, when you walk around with that black cloud over your head, feeling like something's going to happen that's not good, and I don't know what it is. It's that feeling, yeah? But team it with a really positive Emperor, and we've got a real change in the dynamic here, because the Emperor is in charge, basically. He or she is a leader of the whole deck, in fact. So it's like saying, right, you've been stressed, you've been anxious, you've been worried, okay? You need to put on your big girl pants and be the Emperor, right? Because nobody's going to save you. This situation is for you to change. This situation is for you to emporize, yeah? Look at the Emperor sitting on the throne here. Does he look like he puts up with any crap from this card? No, he does not. What he does is he banishes this card from the kingdom. So these two cards together saying, right, you need to take control of a situation, because it's just running riot behind you. It's like gaining its own momentum. This stress, this anxiety is like getting on top of you, and it's caused by that getting on top of you is caused by the fact that you're not addressing it, because you're burying your head in the sand. And what the Emperor then does is come along and says, right, basically, it's time that we just stop being such a wuss and we get on with it. I don't mean you're a wuss, KLG. I'm like, it's like he's coming along, he's saying, put your big girl pants on. It's time that you sort this out, because you're the only person that can do it. Stop burying your head in the sand. Stop not addressing it. Stop trying to avoid it. I've just read what you've written there, KLG. Hopefully they are girl pants. Yeah, yeah, I sort of get that too. um, I used to have a pair of my ex's underpants, like that had been here for ages, and like when I ran out, I used to wear them all the time. So the I really digressed there, didn't I? So the emperor, you need to take charge. You need to address this situation and cut it out of your life. Yeah, like be brutal. Be the emperor, a ruler, is sometimes not gentle, are they? They can be really ruthless and they can cut people and things out because it's not for the good of the kingdom. Think of yourself as the kingdom. Think of the emperor as just like cutting out the dead wood, getting rid of things. It might be people that you need to distance yourself from, or there might be things that you do, or it might just be like a situation you need to take charge of and sort of battle through the bad stuff to get to the other side and the good stuff. So take charge, change your life cards. Right. We'll go from number one, I think. What do we have here? Wow, two major arcana cards. So if you chose number one, looks like you're on the brink of a big change. Um, yeah, let's see what these cards mean. So we have got the Magician and the Justice card. We'll start with Justice, and this can be if you're involved, right? If you are involved in a legal situation and you've chosen number one, these cards really would say that you're about to get justice, okay, and things are about to work out in your favor, okay. The Magician is like, woohoo, we are going to sort this, we are taking charge, as above so below. Let's put a little bit of energy into getting justice, okay. So it feels like things would start moving for you if you're involved in a legal situation. However, if you're not, the sort of similar concept applies. um Basically what's happening here with these two cards is that justice is being dealt out. Whatever karmic thing need to happen, or whatever is due to you or due to somebody else around you, it feels like the scales of justice, which are in this card. Do you remember the other week when we got like 6 different cards with scales on? We've got scales on here, so it's like whatever is supposed to be coming to you is coming to you. And it feels like basically there's a magician involved here. So it's either you or somebody else who's taking action in order to see that justice is meted out, in order to see that justice is served on people, either yourself or somebody else. We have a magician on the table, okay? Magicians take charge, a bit like the emperor, but they're also skilled at manipulating energies, okay? They are the people that make things happen. Yeah, it's like the abracadabra moment. So this would be, right, a literal example. It could be you've got a really good blooming lawyer who's like a magician and they sort things out for you and you walk away with the compensation. Yeah, that would be a really literal example. But legally it could also be, right, it could, right, this is a really random explanation, but this could also be, right, say if you were traumatized, okay, and you really needed closure about something, and you're just about to go and see a new counselor, okay. Your counselor could be the magician, could be somebody that can take that energy and change it and make it happen for you. And that's like the justice. It's like you deserve to be happy, you deserve to be trauma free, you deserve to feel more balanced, like the scales. And that counselor or psychologist or psychotherapist was the magician in that story. Okay, so I'm trying to give you two sort of diverse examples of how these cards could be explained, because again, this isn't a get out, this is the truth. It's like hard to do this when you're not doing an entire spread. It's like you haven't got the contextual cards around these two to say, oh, well, it's actually to do with, for example, if we had the Four of Swords hanging around here, then that could very well be like mental exhaustion and things. So that would be, it would sort of lead you down the path of perhaps this is a psychological issue that somebody's going to solve. If we had Judgment, for example, or the Six of Pentacles, that would be more like, okay, well, it's probably a legal issue to do with money. But with these cards together, it's some kind of justice, and it's somebody, yourself or somebody else, who is the magician, who is making things happen. It could be as well, if you think about this, if you're waiting for justice, if you're waiting for karma to play out or something to happen, or, to get your just deserves, perhaps you need to put your magician hat on and make it happen. Yes, I will do if he agrees with that, definitely, KLG. So, Mr. Steve, if you would be in agreement with that, that would be grand. So, however those cards relate, again, just let me know if it resonates with you. Let us change screen. I love it since I got all my different screens. It's well cool. Right, number 2. Interesting cards. We've got strength and we've got the Six of Cups reversed. So we've got inner strength and we've got nostalgia and ties with the past. Okay, so it feels to me with these cards, with that Six of Cups being reversed, it's like something that's in the past needs to be left in the past. All right, it could be that you are it could be that I've just lost my train of thought there because I'm reading the chat again. Could be that you've been harking back to a past event, a past person, ties to the past, a time in your life that felt better. Rose tinted glasses is the name of the game when you look at this card, okay? Also, grass is greener, but is it ever greener, okay? It's like when you look back on things, when we look back on our childhoods, it's like how many sunny days were there and how many snowy days? And it's like now it just feels like it's a lot of grey days. But it would probably, in fact, climate change, maybe there is, but not so much, It's like we look back and we see things differently, don't we? So this card is saying, okay, you might be looking back on something and wishing yourself back there, or wishing yourself back with somebody, or wishing yourself back in a situation. But you need to take those rose tinted glasses off, because it's not the case. It's not that this was a better time for you, a better place, a better person, a better way of living, okay? It's not that this was who you want to be or who you want to be with, okay? It is illusion, and you are being deluded by thinking that. And I mean that in a nice way, because what we have with you here is the strength card, all right? This is inner strength, and it's saying to you, okay, you're looking back and thinking things were better, but what you're missing entirely is the fact that you've got where you are today by exercising so much inner strength, okay? And you need to employ that, because it feels like, when you look backwards, you're not looking forwards clearly, unless you're that two-headed, two-faced thing, which is a Greek god, I think, or Roman god with the two faces. But anyway, you haven't got that kind of head, okay? So when you're looking backwards, you ain't looking forwards. So what you need to do is remind yourself of how strong you really are, and how much you've been through, and how much you've achieved, okay? And then push gently through, because this card isn't about forcing things to happen. It's about that quiet confidence that things do change, and changes are going to be positive, and better things are coming, okay? So it's like telling you, okay, if these cards had were speaking, they'd be like saying, okay, don't look back there, just hold tight, keep a grip, because things are going to get better for you, and it's going to get better in the present and the future, not in the past. All right, we need to just, and this is the case, I've said this a couple of times this morning with different ones as well, we need to let go of the past in a lot of cases, because it's not very often it does us any good, is it, to sort of hark back to the past? Because what is it going to do unless you've got a lesson to be learned from the past? And that's usually a negative thing, isn't it? If you'd been with somebody or something and you hadn't had a very good situation with them, then you learn lessons from that. But these cards are more about you, are more about you looking back and thinking something was better. All right, and you're being reminded that's not helpful, it's not positive, it does nothing for your present or future to always be living in the past. And you think you've got to allow yourself to imagine that things that the best of your life is yet to come. And if when I say that you feel an automatic, oh, no, it isn't, no, it isn't, you know, that sort of clenching within yourself, which is like you going, no, it's not, then that's where your problem is. Yeah, because when you start thinking like that, then what are you going to manifest in your future if you're basically telling yourself on a subconscious level that you've lived your best days? Okay, you need to be able to have that confidence that your best days are not behind you, that they're in front of you, because then you're manifesting and creating your positive future, and that takes a lot of inner strength. Ooh, that was getting a bit deep, wasn't it? I like that. Okay, number three. So we have got the Queen of Swords and the Four of Pentacles reversed. I think these are quite clear, these cards, okay? I'm just reading what Steve's written about. Yes, Pamela Coleman, the illustrator. Yes, do you know as well, Mr. Steve, I'm actually at the moment, because Pamela Coleman's illustrations are out of copyright. So because she died such a long time ago, her illustrations are actually what's it called? Not open source, that's software where it's, you know, it's copyright free. You can do what you want with them basically. So I'm remastering the images, so I'm like touching them up and sort of recoloring them and stuff, and there's like the little signature of Pamela Coleman on each one, and it's really difficult to like go round it, so I've like traced it, and I'm going to put it back on every single one of the cards once I've redone them. So I'll be publishing them hopefully, with a sort of astral angel slant, so they'll have like one of my paintings on the back and that, but I'll put her signature back on. So yeah, I like to remember her contribution, and it's Edward Waite, isn't it, that wrote them, and then Pamela Coleman Smith who illustrated them. That's a Rider Waite deck. Yeah, these just another digression here. This is the Universal Golden Tarot, which is slightly different but based on the Rider Waite, but you'll see there's certain little differences, but they're not huge, and these have got gold bits on them, which is why I got them, because I like shiny things like a magpie. I've had these years and years. Right, so I digress. Back to the cards. Right, this is financial instability. Okay, when you look at this card this way up, what number is this? Number 3. Okay, number 3. When we look at this card this way up, this guy is holding his coins close to his chest. Okay, so this is somebody who's in control of their finances. They know what's going on. They've got everything balanced. And when it's up this way, all right, this is somebody who's letting money run through their fingers. This is somebody who's not in control of their finances, who might be impulsively spending, or who might just be facing a little bit of financial difficulty and is struggling to balance things, because we're a 4. 4s are about balance, stability. When it's like disrupted energy, upside down, it's like, okay, what's going wrong here? What's not stable about your financial situation? Finances, I'm saying finances all the time because I always say that with Pentacles, but it can be something else security wise. So for example, if you were about to sell a house, you might want to look really closely at the ins and outs. Look at the books, balance the books, and see what's going on there, because this is a warning card. It's something to do with security. Is unbalanced. Could be money running through your fingers, could be like something that's about to fall through security wise, like a house sale. But again, it can be just like, are you impulsively spending? Is that money running through your hands? Now, what we're being told here is that you need to put your crown back on, and you need to become the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is good at communicating. And I feel that what these cards say together is that there needs to be some kind of communication and mastery of what's going on. Feels like you're not speaking up, you're not talking to somebody about what's happening. For example, this is another literal example, so don't take this as a interpretation. It's an example of how the interpretation can apply to life events. All right, so for example, if you're in debt, and struggling with debt and just sort of going, oh, well, I'll think about that another day, or we'll just shut all those bills in the drawer and ignore them. Okay, and it's mounting up, mounting up, mounting up, and you start to get bank charges, and you're getting, this, that, and the other happening. Okay, this card would then say to you, okay, what we need to do here is we need to get a hold of this. We need to ascertain the situation. So we need to regain sovereignty over it. We need to know what's going on, and then we perhaps need to reach out to people to communicate, because you find that, it's always said, but it's easier said than done. When you talk to, like, for example, building society, if you talk to a building society and say, I can't afford my mortgage this month, then they can often come up with some sort of solution, or at least they, you don't get the debt collectors at your door, whatever it is, because they've noted it on your file, as they always say. So it's like, that reaching out and communicating the issue has in effect sort of given you a little bit of leeway. And again, this isn't sort of me saying this card means this and this card means that. This is a literal example of how this could apply to life events. So something is unstable and you need to take control of it. You need to be the Queen of Swords. She's so astute. She can often be a single mother who is like doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, running the house, looking after the kids. Everything's clean, tidy. The garden is immaculate. The house is, always tidy. The kids are well turned out. And you're like, how on earth do you do that? This woman is the Queen of Swords. Or man, single parent. This woman or man is the Queen of Swords. They are in control. Be quite brutal as well, though, because that's swords, it's conflict. So it's like, okay, don't be afraid to put the boot in, metaphorically, if you need to, about these financial issues. What if your financial issues are being caused by somebody else? Perhaps you need to take your sword to them, metaphorically, and cut them out. Yeah, whatever it is, you need to become the Queen of Swords. You need to take control of the situation before it takes control of you. Interesting cards. Number 4. Number 4. I like these cards. We've got the 8 of Swords. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. So these are quite developed numbers. These are quite things that are quite set in stone. This was round this way. What we have here is we have somebody who's imprisoned, okay, imprisoned by their own self-beliefs or expectations. Excuse me. So it could feel like somebody, you might need to go a little bit easier on yourself, because you need to break out. Let's have a closer look at that card. Okay, that woman's blindfolded because she's not seeing the truth. She's not seeing the way out of that prison she's made for herself with all those swords stuck in. And we can tell by looking at that illustration that she could quite easily walk through those swords and get out, all right? But she's not doing it because she's blindfolded. And who put the blindfold on her? She put the blindfold on her, because there's no other person on this card, okay? That symbolizes that this is a prison of her own making. She's put that blindfold on, which is why she can't see a way out, okay? Then, conversely, opposite, almost a direct opposite here, we've got the 9 of Pentacles, which is the independent queen, which is the independent woman. She's grand. She's standing free and happy. Look at her in her garden, right, surrounded by I was going to say cabbages there, surrounded by her pentacles and grapes. When you see grapes on a tarot card, it's very often to do with the fact that grapes can be hard to grow, and so they represent like a lot of work that's gone into a harvest. And these are all purple on this card as well, so they're ready, they're ripe. She's put the work into her garden. She's even got a lovely bird sitting on her hand, which is like she's in control of that bird. And she's basically, she is independent. It's a card of an independent human being, somebody who is a master in their own home and their surroundings. It can also be a card of domestic bliss. So it's like somebody who's really happy with their lot, somebody who's in the place where they're like, right, imagine the Queen of Pentacles, beautiful garden, sitting outside a conservatory on a beautiful sunlit terrace, glass of Prosecco in her hand, little bird sitting on her shoulder, and she's sipping the Prosecco and she's looking out over a beautiful sunrise over, no, sunset, because sunrise would mean she had to get up early, a sunset over a beautiful turquoise sea. And she's just, it's one of those like life affirming moments where she's like, yeah, this is good. I've got to where I want to be. Okay. I'm in charge of my life. I have my own money. I have my own belongings. I'm spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically well. Yeah. So the message of these two cards, how they interact together, is it's like this is the tarot or the universe or however you want to say it, or your higher self, which is how I think I see it. It's you being told, right, take your blindfold off, right? You're only stuck where you are stuck because you've put yourself there, yeah? You're not stuck there. There's nothing stopping you from walking away from this. There's nothing stopping you from shaking off these shackles and going to this place, all right? And you might be thinking, well, yeah, there is because I haven't got any money. But once you start moving forward, you find that life will have a habit of giving you what you need almost. So when did I heard something yesterday that was talking about this. Yeah, I was listening to, right, so there's this guy called Robert Bruce who is like, oh, he's died now actually, but he does a lot of stuff on astral projection. I was listening to an interview with him, and he was talking about manifestation and how you can't just decide, yeah, I'm going to manifest like £1 million and then just sit in your house expecting this £1 million to come down your chimney. You'd have to go, right, I'm going to manifest £1 million. And then you'd have to like put the lottery on. You'd have to go out. You'd have to put yourself out there in positions where the £1 million could find you. Okay. So it's like, in order for you to achieve this, however this looks for you, because some people might want that £1 million, some people might just want that glass of Prosecco, yeah? However this looks for you, in order to get there, you need to take the blindfold off. You need to walk out of the prison of your own making. You need to put yourself out there in order to manifest what you really want. And I guess as well, this is just a side note, and I'm not actually, this isn't in the cards, this is just me putting this, adding this on from my own head. I've just forgotten it. So I thought of it, forgot it. Oh gosh, no, it was this. Yeah, you've got to decide what it is that you want, haven't you? It's like you sort of like with a blindfold on, you're a little bit directionless. You sort of, yeah, I sort of want to be happy. Yeah. But I think when you're manifesting, yeah, you've got to actually be very specific as well. So a great exercise with manifestation is to write it down. Make yourself a book. This is what I want. This is my vision book. This is where I'm going. Okay. Make it sort of realistic though. Sort of like if you write that you want to go to Mars, unless Elon Musk pulls his finger out and gets his commercial flight sorted out to Mars, then it's unlikely in your lifetime you're going to get there. So but if you wanted more money in order to be comfortable, there's nothing wrong with trying to manifest money. People who are spiritual are like, oh my goodness, no, let's not, everybody should have nothing and just be happy with it. I disagree. And so do a lot of other people. It's like money is about energy. It's about energy exchange, and it can get you things that make you happy, and you can give it to other people and make them happy. You can solve problems with it. So it's not the root of happiness at all, but by God, it can make you happier than when you don't have any at all. So if you wanted, for example, to manifest a well-paying job, write it down. If you wanted to, have £2,000 in the bank, write it down. And then you've told the universe, you've programmed the universe as to what you want, haven't you? So those are those two cards. I like those cards. I wish I'd chosen those cards. I didn't actually choose a number. I always forget to choose a number, and I really must. I must do that tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Wednesday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5. Okay. Anybody chose number 5? These aren't as positive, but there is a message here. Okay, let's have a look. Right. Around that way. You're taking on too much. You're struggling under the weight of burdens. You are losing balance of all those plates that you're spinning. You are at risk of dropping the coins. Look at these two cards. That hand's definitely dropping a coin, and this guy, there's no way he's juggling them coins upside down. Okay, they're going to clatter to the floor, and it's because He's trying to balance too much. He's trying to keep them all in the air. He's juggling. He's spinning plates. There's too many of them. They're going to fall to the floor. You are taking on too much. You're taking on too many responsibilities. You're trying to take responsibility for other people's problems. You could be working too many, excuse me, you could be working too many jobs. You could be just overstretching yourself, ignoring your physiological and your emotional need to rest, your spiritual need to disconnect sometime, that moment of stillness in which you find yourself more centered. And I think a lot of us struggle with that. And it's like, we've got to be doing something or we don't feel right. You know, you've got to be doing something. And it's that being able to achieve that state of doing nothing, but actually feeling content with doing nothing. It feels like you need to be trying to work towards that stasis in activity, because this is like frantic energy. This is like, imagine the juggler. All right, so they're juggling two balls. All right, but then you start chucking more and more and more at them. By the time you've chucked like 7 or 8 balls at them, they've got no chance. Yeah, they're going to drop them on the floor. And that's what this card is all about. Also, like, imagine you're on a treadmill, and it's getting faster and faster and faster, and you might think that's really good to start with, and you might think, yeah, I'm getting fitter and fitter and I can keep up, but like eventually you're going to fly off the end. And that's what that card's all about. And this card, teamed with it, the Ace of Pentacles reversed, is saying, right, what you're doing here, you're going to drop your plates, you're going to drop your balls, you're going to fly off the end of the treadmill. And in actual fact, by doing this, you're missing out on an opportunity. Okay, you're missing out on clearing the confusion. You're missing out on a more unified way forward. And Ace is very unified. It's very mono-focused, if that's a word. All right, it's more direct. It's not like spreading yourself too thinly means you get nothing done. Prioritizing and sort of focusing more on less things means you can put more energy in them, and you're more likely to achieve them, because the true energy of the Ace of Pentacles is that new venture, that new direction, that, see the hand coming out the clouds of confusion, it's clearing the confusion. It gives you that ability to see, to be focused, to know where you're going, okay, to get your finances back on track, to feel more in control of your life. All right, here you're being warned. Spread too thinly, juggling too much will result in dropping everything, and you won't find this way forward. Start to prioritize. Start to cut out what doesn't need to be done. Start to delegate. Start to drop something. Start to perhaps not take on too much of other people's stuff and tell them to deal with it themselves, or to find somebody else to sort it out for them. And then you'll find that this way clears, and you'll have a much clearer way forward, and you'll feel much calmer and in control. So time for some pause, some reflection, prioritizing, and then you'll find the ways clear moving forward. Great cards, but a really strong message there, I think. And it's like that spreading yourself too thinly. I think so many of us do that, don't we? It's really easy to do because there's so much to be done. Right, what have we got? Number 6. Page of Cups reversed, 8 of Cups reversed. What do these cards mean? They're not particularly positive, I'll have to say, but the good thing about cards that aren't positive in the tarot is that it gives you the heads up, doesn't it, to change things, because it's like, okay, you're doing something wrong, or this isn't going to work out how you want if you keep going in this direction. So why don't we address things? Right. Basically, let's start with this card. This is the 8 of Cups reversed. It's a really, really clear card. It's like you've stayed around too long. We've had this sort of similar situation with, with number 12, with number 11. Not so much that one. But basically, you've stuck around too long. Something that needed left behind. It's emotional because it's cups. You're still there. Yeah, is that with somebody? Is that with yourself? Are you still doing something? Like, are you doing something the same over and over and over again and expecting the same results emotionally? All right, isn't it time you drew a line under it and said, right, this isn't going to work. All right, this is wrong. We need to change direction here. We need to head for the mountains. head for the mountains, because remember, when you're at the top of the mountain, you see things much clearer, don't you? You see things much better. You can look back with perspective and objectivity and look at your life and see where you went right and where you went wrong. And the reversal here, when you get a reversal, it's a blockage, and it's drawing your attention to it as well. It's like you've stuck around too long. Now, team that with our Page of Cups reversed. Okay, now the page, remember, pages are children. This is your inner child. Your inner child is creative, artistic, romantic. Okay, and he's dying to be this way up in this little duo here. This page doesn't want to be repressed anymore, doesn't want to feel like there's no joy, there's no like inner child work going on here. There's no playfulness. Okay, it's a jaded situation that isn't paying you out emotionally anymore. And it's meaning that your Page of Cups, your joyful true self, your inner child, the one that plays and the one that sees humor and enjoyment in things, and the one that can approach other people in an innocent, naive, but also like open way, you know, accepting and expecting good things rather than expecting bad things, yeah, expecting good things, a childlike naivety. He's repressed at the moment, and it's because you're stuck somewhere where you don't need to be. So what we need to do, these two cards, the message is you need to work on your inner child. You need to free your Page of Cups, because when he's this way up, this is the spirit of adventure. This is like a little child in the sandpit building stuff, and like that whole fantasy land of like enjoying stuff just for what it is now, enjoying new things, starting new things. Pages are also messengers as well. So he's very much giving you a message. Like, it's like you can't expect to get good news when you're stuck in the same place. Okay, in order for you to return to your page and to get that good news, to move forward, you're going to have to address this situation. Okay, I realized watching recordings of this how much I say okay, but I can't stop it. Okay. I need to, that could be my 8 of Cups there on a very shallow level. But never mind. And now I've mentioned it, everybody will probably notice. Right, if you've got a question for me, now would be the time to get your typing fingers oiled up and type it in, because it takes about 30 seconds or so for it to come through on my side. So while you do that, sorry, I'm just going to do a quick oracle card for you, and I should have my incidental music playing here. There we are. Okay, this card is one of my paintings, and it's from the Healing Spirits Oracle, which is published by Hay House. I should be getting a commission here. Published by Hay House. Basically, the Healing Spirits Oracle was created. It was channeled by, there's a psychic called Gordon Smith, who's really, really famous on telly and everything in America and the UK, I think. I think he does stuff in Australia as well. But he's really, really good at what he does. And he channeled messages from, I think it's 4 different sets of like earth spirits, ascended masters and things like that. And then I got the messages. Hay House gave me the messages, and then I channeled from the messages back to the source to create the illustrations. And this one is what you get with the deck. Here's something I put aside earlier. I chose this card, which is Trust in the Wise Spirits and Your Prayers Will Be Answered. And each card actually has a, have I got that ready? Oh yeah, there's the actual card that I pulled, okay? And you'll see at the bottom, it's got like some text on it. Actually says trust in the wise spirits and your prayers will be answered. But there's a number, because that relates to, you get this little book, and you get the message that that card is channeled from is written in the book, okay? So this is how you use this particular oracle deck. I mean, you can, in the book, I haven't actually spent a great deal of time reading the back of this book. It's got about the author. It's got about the artist. That's me. Ha ha. But there's like, no, my eyes are dreadful. I think it tells you how to use them for healing, how to use them for meditation, how to do spreads with them, how to use them as an oracle. And I'm using them as that oracle thing. It's like a message for the day sort of thing. So let's read the message. Now, bear with me because of my eyes. Right. The spirit masters always hear your prayers and want to help when they can. Even when you believe that your path is blocked and a sense of helplessness takes over, offer up your prayers to them. You only have to ask once. Repetition makes you doubtful. The spirit masters will give you a sign that they have heard your prayer, and you must leave it in their kind and safe hands. Allow them to guide you appropriately where you need a light on the path. And when it does appear, follow it and let it lead you to the next level of your life. Remember, trust is its own reward, and when you trust in the spirit sages and masters, there will always be a light to show you the way. And that sort of applies to quite a few of the things that we've looked at, quite a few of the things that we've touched on today, because it's about manifestation, isn't it? And it's about the way that you manifest, and it's about putting that request, for want of a better word. Think prayers, think request, okay? Think manifestation. When I hear prayer, my sort of not Christian side sort of tends to rise up. It's like, prayer? What do you mean prayer? But it's like, prayer is manifestation, is setting your intentions, is spell work, yeah, however you want to look at it. So it's like, this is saying, put it out there, okay? But don't sort of keep putting it out there. Like, if you've got something to ask for, all you need to do is, it's like one heartfelt request to whichever power that you subscribe to, okay? There's no need to keep putting it out there, because I think if you look at law of attraction, right, when you keep sort of, oh, please make me rich, please make me rich, please make me rich, please, what you're doing is reinforcing the fact that you aren't rich, yeah? So it's more like, okay, ask once, please make me rich, and then like act as if you are rich, yeah? Act as if it's already there. So that's about that. I mean, that's the power of manifestation, isn't it? So trust in the wise spirits, and your prayers, requests will be answered. So we need to put our request out there and sit back and have confidence that it's going to manifest for you. Right, do we have any questions written down? KLG, will Mr. C finally stop being a fanny and get himself on Discord now he has agreed to be your mod? Let's not even look at the cards. No, he probably won't. So we didn't even need the cards for that. I don't think we've got any more questions. I got off lightly on that one. I'm sure I saw a question earlier on, but I cannot just scroll up looking for them because I don't see them. And so whoever typed it in may well have got bored of me waffling on and gone off. No, can't see anything else. I think that's it then. Thank you for being with me this morning, or this evening if you're in Australia. It's been fantastic to spend time with you. Let's just put this screen back on. Oh, Jay had a question. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I've got questions coming in now. See, this is the delay on oh, this is the delay on the chat. It is like quite extensive, and I don't know how to change that. And I think it's the same on most streaming platforms, because if you watch when people are doing live shows, they're often like behind on when the comments go in. So, right, Kat, what made you look at the Hanged Man again? Was looking at him too. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember why I started looking at him. I think probably like because I often get just like just a card out of the deck just to sort of work with it and just to connect more with it and meditate on it and update my knowledge. And I think it was just the one that I chose. And then I started, because like there's all sorts of things on YouTube and that, if you type in Hanged Man tarot card and everything, there's all sorts of different explanations of it and different, and layers, that's the word I'm looking for, layers of that interpretation as well. So it just came to me, Cats, and it looks like you did the same thing. And Mr. Steve said it's a 17-second delay because he's timed it. That is such a masculine thing to do, isn't it? Whereas I'm like, oh, it's ages. And if my more masculine side had kicked in, I would have timed it as well. Let us see. Did he say Jay had a question? I can't see. I wonder if, I don't know if Gav's still here. He might have sent me a message with the questions on, because he did the other day. No, he hasn't. My daughter sent me a message though, saying that she can hear guns. She's on holiday in Cyprus, and they can hear, this is crazy, they can hear apparently like bombs and guns. But I thought, well, she thought it was, she was hearing it from Israel, but apparently it was Helena that told me that there's exercises, military exercises going on over there. So I'll have to remind her after this that it's probably the military exercises. I'm still looking for Jay's question and I just can't find it, I'm afraid. If I just waffle for a few minutes, then he might retype it in. I can't see it. I just can't see it. I wish there was a better way of being able to do this, but I think to do that I'd have to actually spend a lot of money on like StreamYard or something, which is like super expensive. But this that I'm using is called Prism, and it's free at the minute, but apparently it's going to go to it's going to be subscription quite soon, so I need to work out, I need to see how much it's going to cost to see if I can afford it. So we might be back to just like streaming direct to YouTube without all the different screens, without all the like bells and whistles, which would be sad, but never mind. No, I can't see any more questions, so I think you're probably sick of me waffling on now, so we'll probably call it a day. And oh, thank you, Helena. That is so nice of you. And I will tell her when I speak to her that I've got a contact over there, so she's not to worry, because you'll go and save her if necessary, which would be awesome. But I'm sure you'll be all right over in Cyprus. I hope so. I'm thinking about doing a spread on the situation later, but I'm a little bit frightened to do it. But then oh, it's Gavin, you're sacked. Not really, but oh, I forgot what I was saying there. Oh yeah, so the situation around, but I might do it later. But I've also got a reading at 2 with Lorraine, and Wimbledon started as well. So I think I'm going to work on some designs I'm doing for Hay House for a new Oracle deck at the moment on my iPad, and watch Wimbledon later on once I've got Lorraine's reading done. Okay, so thank you very much for being here with me. It's been wonderful, as always, to spend this time this morning with you. Have a wonderful day, whatever you're doing, and stay weird.